Hey guys, Bushcraft Family back again with another video. Now, within this video, you're going to have to read between the lines quite a bit. And you know why. It's YouTube. But with a lot of stuff that's going on, especially the first day of the year, we have the New Orleans and Las Vegas things that already went off, and everybody probably already has heard a lot of connections and everything that has taken place with those two things. Now, I watched this interview with a former CIA officer, and she warns that there are more than 1,000 al-Qaeda sleepers, we'll put them that way, in the United States, planning a major attack on U.S. soil and in other places. But the main thing is here in the United States. Her name is Sarah Adams, and she was interviewed on the Shawn Ryan podcast just a couple weeks ago, and she came blatantly out and said that there's 1,000, or the way she puts it, there's more than 1,000 Al Qaeda individuals in the United States within our borders, the whole spew with that. And this interview becomes pretty interesting with the stuff that has happened on the first. We have, the attack. And again, you got to imagine the word that goes before attack. Even though they said it isn't. Officials come out and say it wasn't one of these kind of attacks. It's just a random person doing this. To me, those kind of attacks, it doesn't make any difference who does it or what it's about. It puts fear in the hearts of the people in the United States. When it happens in the United States, it does create fear. That being said, we also have the Las Vegas thing that happened. And they're already finding out there's major connections between the two people that were involved. So allegedly involved. None of this is set in stone or anything yet. It's still being investigated and all this stuff. So this is all hearsay. So you got to come up with your own decisions on this, because it's not a anyway, with that, both vehicles were rented by the same company, meaning that it's a vast company that rents vehicles and other things. So connecting them is kind of not the same thing right there with them both renting. That's like saying they both went to McDonald's and had a Big Mac. It's connected, but it's not connected, if you know what I mean. That being said, they're also saying that one guy served basic training at a certain military base, and the other one visited that base. Not saying they knew each other, not saying any of that. It's just, the coincidence part of this. The more coincidence pops up, the more it's becomes more than the coincidence, if you know what I mean. Now let's get to some of this interview here. Ryan comes out and asks her, plain and simple, he wants to clarify, you are 100% certain that there are 1,000 plus al-Qaeda trained fighters within the borders? And she said yes. It's documented. Documented by them, Homeland, FBI, all the alphabet agencies. And yeah, it's kind of scary to think that there are that many, within our borders. And she also talks about what they call an invisible bomb, and it's that group that is hidden. So they think it's hidden, but and then they're planning an attack within our borders. And one of the things is they are wanting to bring to the United States is the vest. The vest that they wear to delete themselves and anyone around them. So kind of get my drift with that. The United States hasn't seen that on our soil, and that is one of the things that they are wanting to bring in these attacks. She was also asked, how will this start? And she says she thinks it's going to be our embassies and stuff. That being said, that's in other countries a lot of times, embassies. Trying to figure ways of putting this, but yeah. If we start seeing some of these types of attacks in the United States, knowing very well that we know these people are in here, the CIA knows that they're here, again, Homeland and all those places, and again, we may find out in the next week or two that these two attacks had nothing to do with each other. But will you believe that? And the reason I say this is because al-Qaeda, ISIS, that type of thing, they're all funded by the United States. It's part of the thing that Obama started and Biden picked it up, paying them to be nice and all that. That's where they get their money. So when, our government comes out and says we don't have, ties to this or, that or anything, it's kind of hard for normal Americans to believe within what they're saying. So when it comes down to it, your government paid for this stuff, paid for these attacks, and it's been all documented and proven that certain other things that happened in the United States came back to the money that was spent to bring peace to the Middle East area and stuff like that. So Makes you wonder, doesn't it? But I'm gonna go ahead and put a link in the description down below so you guys can watch the Shawn Ryan show, and where he talks with Sarah Adams, and you get to hear a little bit more stuff than I can put out there. I'll put it that way. But again, be careful out there. Always pay attention to everything that's going on around you. Don't bury yourself inside that cell phone. Keep your eyes open. And God bless.